Welcome to the Spiritual Warrior Coach podcast. This is a sacred space where healing begins, intuition awakens, and your spirit remembers its power. I'm your host, Barbara Savin, author, energy healing specialist, hypnotherapist, and spiritual life coach. For over 35 years, I've guided thousands of souls to protect their energy, trust their intuition, and step into their most empowered self. I invite you to join me for heartfelt conversations, spiritual insights, and gentle practices that nurture your soul and inspire your daily life. And together, we'll explore how to rise above negativity, trust your inner wisdom, and embrace the truth of who you are, a divine, radiant being of love and strength. So take a breath, settle in, and know you are not alone on this journey. You are loved. You are supported, and you are more powerful than you've ever been told. So let's rise together and join me now as your host. Well, thank you for joining me today, and welcome to the Spiritual Warrior Coach podcast. I'm your host, Barbara Savin, here to help you reclaim your power, your energy, and your authentic self. And today I am honored to welcome a woman whose journey is nothing but short of extraordinary, a true embodiment of courage, transformation, and service. So welcome, Holly, to the show. I'm so happy you're here today.
Oh, Barbara, I'm absolutely honored to be in the presence of somebody with so much history and background and just deep, rich knowledge base with all your energy work and everything. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. And before we begin our incredible, I know it'll be an incredible conversation. Let me tell my listeners about you.
Please.
Holly Nicholson is a former firefighter and paramedic with more than 20 years of experience working in some of the most high pressure, trauma heavy environments imaginable. And after a career ending injury, Holly stepped into a deeper calling, one rooted in healing, spiritual growth, and guiding others through profound personal transformation. And now known as your healthy living coach, Holly is a performance and transformation coach, a clinical nutrition specialist, a teacher, and the creator of the powerful Pain to Power method. And her work supports first responders, veterans, and high performers in navigating stress, trauma, and life transitions with strength, grace, and grounded emotional awareness. And her mission is simple yet profound: to help people rise from adversity, reconnect with their inner power, and expand into their highest potential with clarity and being authentic. And oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy you're here today.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited to be here. I've been quite anxious to talk with you.
Oh, well, thank you. As we spoke before, my niece was also a paramedic, and
You
boy,
said it's
some
amazing.
of the stories are over the edge. I mean, so you've been a paramedic for how many
I
years?
was a paramedic for 23 years. I taught at the college, taught emergency medicine after I left the fire service after my neck injury. So I taught for another 3 years, maintained my certification, not sure if I wanted to try to go back into it or not. I knew I wasn't going to be driving a fire engine or fighting fire anymore, just
Oh,
secondary to
wow.
my neck surgery. But yeah, it was a truly eye-opening experience, to say the least.
Mhm.
No two shifts are ever alike. So 20 years, as you can imagine, there was a lot of shifts there. You see a lot of things, you do a lot of things, you deal with a lot of things that most people will never encounter in their life, let alone over and over every day, you know. So I think I used to always say, this is the job I was born to do. And I was
Mm.
sure I was right. And you just kind of stack away the trauma after trauma after trauma, and you deal with it with laughter and camaraderie and kind of a sick sense of humor. way
Hmm.
of living. But you gain a callus over that spot in a way.
Yeah.
Some people do more than others. Some people handle it more than others. But I loved my career. It was absolutely fabulous. There wasn't a day. Well, let me put it this way. Even on the days that absolutely sucked, I loved my job.
You loved your job.
Yeah,
So now, you did you get injured on the job or?
I did. I was injured on the job in a very mundane way. Through repetitive injuries, I was out cleaning the fire engine one day and I happened to trip and jam my head into a ladder rack.
Oh,
And one thing led to another, and I had to have 3 levels of my spine fused in my neck. So it was quite a big change in my career. I was off work for about 4 months, and then I went back to work, and I was doing great. Rehabbed very well, and back to work. And then I started getting some symptomology back. My hands were going numb and tingling and stuff. And I went back in and the doctor said, well, if you don't change what you do for a living, because you're always, lifting heavy things, carrying stuff, dragging patients and hoses and everything else that you do, he said, you're going to have to go in and have another surgery. And so that was the tipping point for me. I've got
wow.
the years and the age on the department to move ahead, which I
Mhm.
was hoping to get 25 years on. But I just decided for my longevity and my health and for the betterment of my crew, because I didn't want to become the weak link.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to maintain my job as well as I possibly could. So I just thought it would be best if I retired at that point. So I was 52 when I retired, and I still have a whole life of service ahead of me. I'm a responder. That's just what I do.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Wow. So, boy, that's some transition. So, you were firefighter, paramedic. So, how did you go doing that to a performance and transformation coach? I mean, um,
Well, that's
yeah.
kind of where I'm going to tie the two stories together between all the trauma of being a firefighter paramedic, which I thought I was handling like a champ. Um,
Uh-huh.
the universe started, it felt like it was peeling my layers away, one layer at a time, the job. And your identity as a firefighter is huge. You really become that. That's your family, that's your home, that's your work, you become, that is who I am. I am a firefighter paramedic. I was also a 20-year career competitive bodybuilder. I had all of these things about me that one thing after another, sorry, can't do that anymore. Sorry, you're not doing that anymore. Um, and I suddenly realized that I'd been saving everybody else my whole life and I wasn't taking care of myself.
That's usually the case.
So the trauma piled up. I went through a very deep depression after my retirement because I didn't know who I was anymore. And through that healing process, which was, it's still ongoing. I think everybody should understand that healing is a lifetime thing. It doesn't happen with whatever, avenue you resort to. It doesn't happen with just one thing. You have to keep working at it your whole life, growing and evolving. I believe that's what we're put on this planet to do, is to grow and evolve. So it was my turn to grow and evolve, and I sought out all types of things. I got into yoga, which led me into meditation, which led me into breath work, which led me, it just was like
Mhm.
the universe led me down this completely different type of path for healing and helping people. I became a meditation coach and a breathwork coach, and then I became Reiki certified and an energy healer.
Wow.
And it all started to tie in together. The everything started to make sense to me. Why things happened the way they did when I was on the fire department. Um, kind of jumping around a little bit. I'll try not to do that too much, but throughout my career, my intuition was always very strong. Ever since I was a child, I've had abilities and intuitive gifts that help me to know when somebody needs something and what they need. And, they could be on the other side of the world, and I'd say, hey, mom, so and so, let's call, or what, just little things like that. And it followed me throughout my career. I had a lot of instances where I would take a patient into the emergency room and the doctor would say, "Good catch. How did you know that's what was going on with the patient?" And I would just,
Just new.
not sure. I just knew. So it was something that's always been with me, but through my healing process and learning the energy work and everything, it really started to blossom. And I just knew I still had a lot of service left in me, and I wanted to do that for people. And since I speak the language of a firefighter, that seemed the most natural avenue to
Mhm.
pursue, is to help people that I understand how they speak and I understand what they're going through. And I also have an avenue to help them with their trials.
Yeah, they go through. I have some clients that are firefighters, and oh, you know, they'll come and they'll sit opposite me and they cry
Oh yeah.
because
And
they
that's a very hard thing for a firefighter to do. I didn't cry for years after I got off the department. You go through so much
Mhm.
that, like I said, you build a callus on that. And it's very hard for people in that type of work, police officers, high performers. When I say that, a lot of my clients are military operators, if you
Mhm.
understand what I'm talking about. Can't really go into it, but they look at asking for help as a weakness. And it's
Yes.
a real, I'm sure you understand that, especially if you're working with first responders. It's a
Mhm.
very difficult spot for them because they need it really bad. But within the departments that they work for, they don't want to ask for help because if it comes up that they may be suicidal, which heaven forbid that a lot of them are. We lose
Mhm.
more firefighters to suicide than we do to line of duty death. But um, they are afraid to talk to anybody about it for fear they'll be taken off the floor, that they won't have their job anymore, they'll lose their retirement. So they just stuff it and they stuff it and they stuff it.
Oh, I know. And I know when they sit opposite me, my heart just breaks for them because they'll talk about who they couldn't save and why, I mean, it's a lot of trauma. And I say to myself, wow, if if I were in their shoes, could I handle it? I don't know, because some of it is really beyond your imagination, but you can, I mean, it's
Yeah.
really bad.
It's really bad. And some of it
Yeah.
is really bizarre. Like
Hmm.
you think, how do people get themselves in these
In these
situations?
situations. Yeah.
But I think the ones that were probably always the hardest on me were the children
The
because I've got
children.
children, and I was raising children at the time. And you can't help but see your child in the face of the child you're trying to keep alive. And
Mhm.
those things were probably the hardest part of the job for me, you know. Older people, you kind of expect
Yeah.
and it's not so traumatic or awful. It's just, for me, it's a passing on to the next realm. I don't look at it as life and death. It's a transition. So that never really bothered me too terribly much. It's
Mhm.
always the people that are left behind that
Yeah.
that are
It's
it's
always.
hard for them.
Yeah, but it's the young ones, that
Mm,
I think would be,
gut wrenching.
comes, yeah, that's heart-wrenching. And when they explain it to me, I could feel myself just like, I'm feeling that anxiety, let's put it that way. And it's not easy. I know
Yeah.
9/11, I had volunteered for first responders. Um,
Okay, like peer support?
Well, they were bringing the World Trade Center to the Staten Island side, and the
Uh-huh.
doctor I worked for was able to get us in the Salvation Army, the tent,
Okay.
where the first responders, the firefighters, they came there looking for support
Right.
because they went through so much. And so we did healing on them. We did, help maybe with a little hypnotherapy, meditation,
Beautiful.
whatever we were, able to do for them to
Sure,
help,
sure. Thank you for
calm
that.
them
That's
down. Oh,
that's immeasurable. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
that was
Yeah.
my two came home from that mess, and I was so grateful that I said I have to do this, um, because it meant a lot to me, and I knew I was able to help whoever came to see me at that time. And yeah, it was something. myself, and I brought two other women with me. It was not easy, but we did it every day for about 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, that had to
Until
be.
it was heavy duty. Yeah. Well, they were
Yes.
bringing the trade center over to that side. So that was another the whole thing in itself. But
Carrying
yeah,
a lot of stories in the process too, I'm sure.
oh yeah, lots of stories. But you people don't realize how much like a firefighter, paramedic, police officer,
Mhm.
Army, Navy, how much they go through with that they
Right,
see.
right. It's a tremendous load, but
Mhm.
I will say that on the other side of it, I think the ability to see humanity at its absolute worst
Worst.
and at its absolute best to deliver a new baby into the world,
Hmm.
those always choke me up, which is so funny. Why
Yeah.
when I think about all the babies I've delivered.
Wow.
But
Okay.
isn't
Uh-huh.
that funny? You go from seeing death to bringing life in, and it's just
Yeah,
amazing.
which is the opposite realm. Yeah.
But you just get such a diverse and deep education on humans,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I think that's what also when I worked there, I things were completely different. You saw how even though there was so much horror, these people still went and helped others, no matter what.
Right. It's
So,
truly a life of sacrifice.
oh, without a doubt, there was no doubt in my mind. But all right, so you now do coaching.
I do, and
Uh,
I love it. I do actually. I have kind of two pathways under my umbrella.
okay.
Started with the first responders and the military and the high performance stuff, and was doing a lot of resilience training for transformation to help them through the transition of leaving work, either with an injury or at the end of their career, dealing with those types of things. The resilience part of it, learning how to handle the stress. So many people come to me with sleep problems, and sleep problems cause health problems on top of everything else. So then more and more of my medical training started getting used. Um, to back up a little bit, after I left the fire department and I taught at the college, I went to work for a medical practice here in town as a clinical nutrition specialist, but I was trained completely in all type of aging medicine, anti-aging medicine. And so I have a very well-rounded background when it comes to medicine, not just emergency, but general health and longevity and everything too. So all of those gifts kind of started getting brought into play. And I was like, oh, okay, now I know why I took this class or that class or this training. And it really now has become not so focused on the trauma part of it anymore, but more focused on the healing
The
part of it.
healing part.
Yes, yeah. Because I truly believe that ruminating over a trauma is not helping you at all. We need to look for the path forward and start on it. Um, Telling the same story over and over and over just ingrains it deeper into your head.
Oh, I know.
We can't change the past,
Hmm.
but we can create a new story and move forward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
reframing it because then you're
right.
stuck as a victim of that. And how can you possibly heal?
Exactly. Exactly. And although I do some talk therapy in my sessions, I start with talk therapy and then secondary to my energy work and intuition, I can really feel what the person needs. Is it more grounding work? Is it breath work? Those types of things. I teach meditation. It might be as simple as teaching them how to journal every day as a tool.
Mm.
Yeah. Pardon me, my allergies are killing me.
Oh no,
Sorry.
that's okay.
My eyes are red, my nose is running. But so anyway, I apologize.
Oh no, it's okay.
So I use a lot of different methodologies and
Hmm.
all kind of under the envelope of pain to power method, but a lot of health and wellness brought into it as well. So I think I just intuitively listen to what they need and bring it all together.
Right. Do you
you
do
know.
Zoom sessions with them
I do
or
Zoom sessions.
oh,
If it's a local client, then I will actually do Reiki sessions with them as well.
hmm
I bring them to my home and we'll talk here and we go on nature hikes and I've found very much that a lot of times walking, you can get a lot of work done when you're walking.
hmm
So,
It's also very grounding. So yeah,
it's
and
very
especially
grounding.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of them probably aren't even grounded.
No, not at all.
And that's, I
Not
think,
at all.
what probably is the biggest problem is that they're
Right.
not grounded and they're flighty and their energy is everywhere. Once we just bring it back into their body,
Right.
and
Right.
that foundation is there, is when they can begin to heal.
I'm sure you know with breath work, but a
hmm
good 90-second concentrated inhale, hold, extended exhale.
hmm
90 seconds of that where all you're thinking about is that one,
The breath.
two, three, four, that counting. You can resolve so many problems in that way because you switch your nervous system from sympathetic nervous system living in that fight or flight, and firefighters and cops and military live in that
Constantly.
nonstop.
Mhm.
You have to get them out of that nervous system stimulation, slow them down into the parasympathetic, and the two things that I found more profoundly helpful than anything is breath work and grounding, just to get them to slow down enough to start talking, to start working through things. But those are very effective tools.
What if you have someone that you see them? I have someone in particular that no matter what I do for him, he's still in that crying mode. And I feel so bad for him. He can't get past everything that he's seen.
Sure, sure. And he's ruminating on it 24/7, not
Yeah.
just when he's talking to other people. Well, he's probably telling the story everywhere. You know
Yeah,
what
he
I'm
is.
saying? So, we get into that victim mentality and we can really spiral deeply into it. And
hmm
it is a hard thing to break. Trying all of the tactics, and I'm sure you've done a
Quite,
lot
quite,
more.
quite many.
And to be very honest with you,
hmm
this is kind of a segue, not that I would suggest this for anybody else, but the parts of me when I did allow myself to start crying, I can relate to this young man.
hmm
But when I did allow myself to start crying, it was like once the dam broke, I felt everything. And
Yeah.
it was difficult for me. It was just so hard to get out of that. How do I stop this? It's been so many years of piling up that how do I stop it? And where I found solace and not it didn't fix my problem, but it gave me the insight to see what I needed to work on. And that was psychedelic medicine.
Mm.
So, not making the suggestion that that's the pathway for everybody else,
Right,
but
right.
I know that that's what it took for me. And that was life changing for me as far as my
And you were
healing
able to stop
process.
the crying
Oh,
and
absolutely. Within a very short period of time.
oh
It was
wow.
like I crawled out of the depression. I was just suddenly grateful for the smell of coffee in the morning, the light coming through the shutters when I opened my
Mhm.
eyes. Everything was something to be grateful for. I became one with everybody. I was no longer this traumatized victim. And it was very influential for me, very, very special. And I know through my training, I've met a lot of people that have done similar type, plant medicines, and
Mhm.
they've had excellent results from it. So, there's a big initiative right now in the US. They're starting to, a lot of the military operators, the Navy SEALs and all those guys, they're sending them for psychedelic medicine, and it's healing them completely.
Oh, maybe I'll give him, if you don't mind, his your number and
Oh,
have him call.
absolutely. I would
And
love to talk with
yeah,
anybody
because
about
I
it.
think, I'm at the point that I sent him to acupuncture. I mean, I've done everything for him and sent them to other people. And and I think maybe like with you, you can
If I can
relate.
share my story and it's
Yes,
it's
yeah.
helpful to him, I would be
And I think he needs
happy.
that somebody that has gone through the same exact thing, and knowing that he's not
Sure.
crazy.
No, of
This is
course
what
he's
he's
not.
feeling.
And that's the one thing I really try to get across to my first responders immediately is you are not broken.
Hmm.
You're not broken. You're overwhelmed.
Yeah, I
So
tell them
let's
that all
get
the
your nervous
time.
system
Yeah.
straightened out. Let's give
Hmm.
you some tools. I use tactical language when I speak with them. Of course, I'm not doing it to you because that would get kind of crazy.
I
But I
wouldn't
use
know.
tactical tools. I talk like I'm on
Uh-huh.
the fire ground. I
Yeah.
talk about things, that only we would be able to converse about together, myself and the patient. And I think that helps a great deal, as far as them feeling like they're really being heard and understood. But that, you know, like I said, back to the original, the plant medicine
Hmm.
made the world of difference for
Difference.
me.
S-
Mhm.
Do you basically work just with like paramedics and firemen and military or
Anybody. I
oh,
have
anybody?
a
Okay.
big portion of my clients are veterans
Okay,
and
veterans.
I
Yeah.
find a very similar thing with them. They might have not have been in a war zone or those types of things, but there's a certain type of trauma that they feel very victimized when they come out of the military. A lot of them have alcohol problems, have pain pill addictions, things like that, the government hands that stuff out like candy and condones that type of behavior without ever fixing the human being that's underneath it.
Yeah.
So I worked with a young man at one point that he was a corpsman medic, but he was a ground pounder. He was an army guy and had seen a lot of fighting in Afghanistan. And when he came back, he had a traumatic head injury, which compounds everything. So a TBI, all of his hormones were messed up because of the TBI and all of the trauma and everything else. He was layer upon layer upon layer of trauma to deal with.
Wow.
And between getting his hormones straightened out and getting everything else going and getting him off of all of the psych meds they had him on, he's a very well-functioning, normal, much happier human being today. But you have to get him out of that victimhood.
Well, that's it. Yeah, and I think that's this particular client of mine would definitely. I've tried everything, and it's funny how I came across you in the midst of all this, and I said,
Is it funny?
"Yeah, well, it's the
The
universe."
universe knows.
They know, and I said, when I read all about you, I said to myself, "Oh, she would be really good for him." And I will call him and suggest it to him and see if he's open for it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Share my contact information with him. And at the end of this, I will send you my Calendly link or a way for you to get to it. If he's interested, we can do a free half-hour session and decide if
Yes.
it looks like something he wants to do. Not that I'm
Yeah.
trying to get your client from you, but
Oh
even if I could
no.
just talk to him and give him information,
If you can help him,
I'd love to.
many a times we can just do so much after a while, and then you have to give him to somebody. You have to give them to
Exactly.
somebody else.
And that's the
Mhm.
key is knowing when it's time to hand him
Yeah.
over.
And I know it's time.
Right.
So,
But
but
you
I,
know what? That might be what he was there for, to be connected with something different.
well, that's it. And then you came across my desk with your information. I said, "Oh, this is the one." So
Beautiful.
it's amazing how it happens, though. It's it,
Yes, it
it's it's
is.
all it's spiritual timing. They know exactly
I
when to do it.
trust that spirit knows exactly what is going
Hmm.
on.
Oh boy, do they ever.
Oh, amen. Don't think
Yeah.
you've got it figured out.
No,
They do.
you don't. They're gonna hit you with something else.
Right? Exactly. I
Yep.
love that.
So let me, I know you created the pain to power methods. Okay.
Yes.
What is like the biggest patterns that you see with like first responders, veterans, and high performers that and what actually helps them I would break the cycle, of what that loop that they're in.
So normally with the first responders, and they're a little bit different with the veterans in this aspect because they're on the job still. But with the first responders, normally the thing I notice above all is that they're shut down. They're just emotionally, they're numb, they're topped off, they just get to a point where they can't take anymore
Mm-hmm.
and they're shut down. They don't, they have no other way to respond because nothing seems to work, so they just shut down. And again, my first message to them is you are not broken. You
Mm-hmm.
are absolutely not broken. What has happened to you is perfectly normal and natural. You're in a state of overwhelm, and we can work with that.
So,
So with the pain to power method, I assess where they're at on that scale. Is this affecting their personal life at home? Are they substance abusing? Are they sexually, have they become deviant or addicted to sexual? Sometimes it's not just drugs and alcohol. They'll get
right.
addicted to porn, any way to escape what is going on in their head.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they can't leave the house, so they just get in front of their computer and they get addicted to whatever they can access on their computer. But it's that chronic nervous system stimulation again that we talked about. So I assess where they're at on the scale, and I decide where what interventions to use at that point. And then I just give them as much love and send them as much good energy as I can and let them know that that is free flowing no matter what we go through in the session. You might get pissed at me. You might not find me funny or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but you know what? I'm here because I care and I'm here to serve you, and we're going to get through this.
Do you ever like just get in their face sometimes and just say it the way it
Honestly,
is?
I've had to a couple of times, not really get in their face, but
Just say
as
it.
I call it, jerk the slack out of them.
Mm-hmm.
When I
Yeah.
can tell that, I give them homework
Mm-hmm.
always. Okay, we're done. Between now and our next session, I want you to work on this and this and this. And they'll come back, oh, I didn't have time. I got busy. And I'm like,
I
hey,
know. I slap them around.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
don't waste your time. You're here to get somewhere with this. Let's
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to remind them, to come to the party,
Uh-huh.
but it usually works.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Some,
I'm sure
I
we've all had those clients that you just like, as you said, I've done everything I can and I can't seem to make any headway. We've all had those clients, Barbara,
oh
and we
yeah.
always will. It's
Oh
human
yeah.
nature.
Oh yeah, and I understand that, and that's why, I'll always say to them, you need to see someone else, and and I'll give them suggestions, names, and
Sure.
resonates with you. Give them a call and see if it feels right. If it doesn't, then don't do it. If it does, then good. Then they can
Right.
help you heal. Because yeah, there's so many layers that they need to shed when they're, in the field, such as yours.
And it's scary. It's scary when you're in that field to take away your armor. You think it's
Mhm.
your armor. So you feel like as you're peeling back the layers that you're becoming more vulnerable, which is part of the thing. You do need to show them that it's okay to be vulnerable, that
Mhm.
they're in a safe place for that, and that they do need to let some of that out. But you know, it, you want to teach them how to regulate their nervous system on their own when you're not there. How
Mhm.
to, okay, pardon the term, shit's going to hit the fan here. I'm going to take a deep
Mhm.
breath. I'm going to focus inside. I'm going to, because when you can regulate that nervous system and slow everything down, then you can make better decisions.
Oh
You
yeah.
can see the picture more clearly in front of you. So when you're risking your life, your partner's life, everybody involved on a fire scene or a critical call as a police officer or whatever, you have to slow things down.
Mhm.
Even though they're going at
Full steam.
breakneck speed,
Hmm.
you have to slow it down. And the best way to do that is to control your breathing,
Oh,
so
breathing, yeah, works
yeah,
wonders.
it
And
really
even for
does.
myself, with some of the operations before I went into the OR, I did some breathing and I said, all right,
Yeah,
calm yourself down here so it'll all go well. Yeah, the breathing,
I
it
love that.
really works. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I've
love
done that.
that.
Yeah. And I would even say to the anesthesiologist, I need to do some breathing first. And he would tell me, well, you're going to be, breathing in a different way. No, I need to do this first. And I need to say my prayers so
Are
everybody
you
does
talking
it.
about surgery performed on you or?
Yes. Oh, yeah,
Oh
on
my
me.
gosh. Yeah,
Yes.
that's very insightful of you.
Oh,
My
yeah. Oh, I
goodness.
mean, I've gone in that OR with saying prayers, and they would all stop for a moment and they would say thank you. I mean, it's just how I am. I figure, well, I'm not just going to say it for me. I'm going to say it for all of them because they're here
Right,
to help me.
exactly.
So yeah, but
Protect us with a great bubble of golden white light that grows and
yes.
increases, exactly.
Oh
And
yeah.
what's funny is when I did my first psychedelic journey, I I read this prayer with the shaman, which was absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. Bawled my eyes out the whole time. But
Mhm.
then I said a prayer to Archangel Michael because he is the traveler's archangel. And I was like, please just protect me on this journey. Let me come out the other side with my brain intact and everything okay. Just protect me on this journey. I'm willing to let everything go. I surrender,
Mhm.
let the medicine do what it needs to do. And now I talk to Archangel Michael all the time.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was a big believer of Michael and Raphael when I had my hip replacement,
Oh,
you
oh
know.
yeah, me too. We're hip sisters.
Oh yeah, well, that's a tough surgery, I tell you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
And
is.
I have to tell you that the night before, my husband, I said to my husband, "Wow, I wonder what they're gonna do." And he says, "Oh, let's YouTube it and see how a hip surgery
That's
goes."
not one you want to watch on YouTube.
Well, I did. And this
Me
night,
too.
oh boy,
You're
it
like,
was
oh my
it
God,
was
they're gonna
not
do
good.
what?
Not good. And when I got in and the doctor came over to me and I said to him, I think I'm going to change my mind. And he says to me, you can't change your mind. Well,
Too
you
late
were
now.
already like here, you already have the robe on and everything ready
Uh-huh.
to go. And he says, why are you going to change your mind? I said, well, I went on YouTube and saw a hip surgery. And he looked at me, were you crazy to do such
Don't do
a thing?
that.
And I said, no, it was my husband's suggestion.
See, I'm just the opposite. I
Oh,
have to know everything that's going to happen before I go in
crazy,
there. Like I
right?
can control it when I'm under anesthesia, but I have to
No,
know what's going to happen.
I'm the same way. When I had parathyroid surgery two
Oh
years
my
ago,
goodness.
again, I had to do my research and I just need to know.
Well, I think it helps you heal better when you're fully aware of what's taken place. It gives you the opportunity to focus your energy and do some
Mhm.
self-healing. They did this and they did this, so I'm sending
Oh yeah. And I said, well,
energy here.
I have to surrender. God just watch over me and them
Yeah.
and we're good to go. And then that was it. Yeah, I think well, I mean, I don't know if the average person would look on YouTube before the surgery, but I know I have to.
Yeah, maybe we're just a little cuckoo that way.
I think so. My
And that's
daughter says to me,
okay.
"That's a little crazy making." I said, "Well, yeah,
That
maybe."
that's okay though. That's
But
absolutely okay.
getting back to you, I know you're also known as your healthy living coach.
Hi, I'm Holly, your healthy living coach. Yes.
Yes. So how do
Yes.
you like blend uh functional wellness, spiritual wellness, and practical lifestyle, into your, approach to healing?
Well, I kind of think it's all one thing, because
Mhm.
physically and mentally, you can only heal so much if you don't heal your spiritual. If you don't have a healthy spiritual being, it's very hard to bring the rest into cohesion, into
Mhm.
coherence. And your energy flows where your mind goes.
Right.
So you know that very, very well. So I try to kind of blend it all together. And I'm on social media all the time making posts. And I might be talking about, three really good things that you can do for your health, blah, blah, blah. And I always add in something a little spiritual.
Spiritual.
I want you to start focus on your sleep, meditate, and journal today, blah, blah, blah. I just blend it all in. And some of it resonates, some of it doesn't, but I know the right person that needs to hear it will hear it.
We'll hear it.
I trust in that 1000%.
Oh, but I feel the same way. Yeah. I always say whoever needs to hear it will hear
Right.
it. You know, it
Yeah.
may not be this moment, but
For the highest good of
Mhm.
all,
Yes.
period.
Exactly. No matter
Yes.
who you are.
Right. For the
So,
highest good of all.
of all.
Because we're all brought here to grow and evolve, as I said before.
Hmm.
I firmly believe in that. And you never know what's going to catch your attention, what it is you need to hear,
Hmm.
what you're going to come across. You and I coming across each other. It's absolutely, you don't know this, but your timing couldn't have been better that night.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes. I had been at a very big conference watching my mentor speak that day. She's a big keynote speaker, and was feeling a little down on myself, feeling a little, gosh, you know how you get the comparison thing comes
Oh,
up,
yeah. Hmm.
that ugly monster that says, why aren't you doing that? Why haven't you gotten that far in your career yet?
Hmm.
And I was feeling a little bit down about where I was, and you reached out to me. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. And it was like, see, you're okay.
Well, that's it. Yeah, we need to know that we are enough.
Absolutely. And
We
that's
are enough.
that's a huge part of, the spirituality part of it is
Hmm.
understanding that you are enough and you're worthy of healing and you're worthy of getting through this and you will get through this. We've all survived 100% of the absolute shittiest days of our lives,
Oh,
haven't we?
yes, yes.
Okay.
I can attest to that one in a lot of ways, but yeah.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
And if you survived, then there's a reason for you to go through the pain.
Absolutely. And it's not, why is this happening to me?
Hmm.
Why is this happening for me? What is
Yes.
the lesson here? When you can reframe things like that, and that's a big, word that gets tossed around in coaching is reframing things.
Hmm.
It's so simple, to pull somebody out of that victim mentality by saying, what is the lesson here? What part of you is this speaking to? You know?
I know, I hear those voiceless voices and I now 100% listen because a few years ago I didn't and I ended up falling and crushing the side of my nose
Oh
and
my
this is
gosh.
another whole story, but yeah, and yet I kept on hearing, don't walk and text. Barbara, stop walking and texting. Of course, I didn't pay attention.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
I know it
Please.
was crazy though when I look back, but as I'm falling and, really almost killing myself, I felt this angelic wing underneath me. And so I was supposed to get hurt. Why? Well, because I wasn't listening.
You weren't listening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I wasn't supposed to get killed. So that was good.
Right. Sometimes they have to hit you with a hammer, but
Boy, did they ever, let me tell you. They did. But
and
yeah,
nobody likes messing their face up.
no, no. And so, but when the doctor came over to me, and the good news was, I wasn't bleeding on my inside my brain, and my head was out like this. And I
Oh
had
gosh.
cuts and bruises everywhere. I was bleeding uncontrollably from this side of my face. And so the good news was I didn't have bleeding, but the bad news was, I severely crushed my nose. And I remember her looking at me and saying, I said to her, I know you're not going to believe this or understand this, but I could feel, an angelic wing under me,
I love that.
holding me. And she looked at me. She says, well, there must have been angels around you because a little more over, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So I says, oh, and then I promise I will not.
Wake up call.
Yeah, that's 15 years ago. That was a big wake up call.
That's
Sometimes, it
unbelievable.
happens to us. It
It really
happens.
does.
We need to listen. We need to be
Right.
more aware and pay attention. I mean, I am a lot more aware now, and I definitely listen. So,
You know that we have three brains in our body?
three brains.
Our brain,
Yeah,
our heart. They
the
now
heart.
have found that there are cells in our heart that have knowledge. Your heart is a brain. You listen to your heart, you listen to your head, but our gut is the third brain.
Yes.
That, when they say listen to your gut, but not just that, it's very intuitive part of
Intuitive.
your body, but it's
Mhm.
because of the nervous system that's connected to it. So when you're picking up energetic signals, you feel it in your gut. And
Without
that's
a doubt.
when you get that feeling, listen to it because it's energy coming from outside your body,
Hmm.
So we're full of brains to keep us safe, to keep us moving in the right direction, to hopefully keep us from making, terrible mistakes. Sometimes I
Mistakes.
think we're meant to make mistakes, but
Hmm.
it's very interesting that our body is such a capable, amazing,
Hmm.
energetic, spiritual thing.
Oh, it
You
amazes me. And I always tell everyone you have to listen to that gut feeling. Like that feeling was telling me to stop this, but I didn't listen. And so, it was okay. They probably sit upstairs. Ah, she's not listening. She got to get hurt.
How many times have you told her now? Okay,
Quite
push her
many
over.
times, trust me. It was
Just
when we
don't
just
push her
got the
too hard.
BlackBerry. It's
Right.
a new toy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all get that
Yeah,
way.
boy, do we ever. But so let me ask you, getting back to you,
Sure. Sure.
in your
Sure.
work, you talk about moving from pain to power.
Mhm.
What does that actually look like, inside someone's daily life, and what shifts do they, I guess, need to finally access in order to, to get that inner power that is within them?
Well, as you know, everybody's individual and different with what it is they need. But when we can get the nervous system slowed down, we can get them out of sympathetic into parasympathetic, and we can start working with their energy, getting them slowed down, getting them more comfortable, getting them to be able to be vulnerable and allow those emotional states to reach the fresh air,
Hmm.
and realize that there is more on the other side of all this to stop the spiral, reframe the story. They come out of it on the other side with a whole new lease on ways to control it when it does come back. Because if they're still on the job, it's going to be there every day, but they just need to know how to address it and to deal with it when it comes up. The people that aren't on the job anymore, we have to teach them how to get out of their own way with it, to not ruminate on it, but to keep moving forward with that. When you see them get to that place where they understand their psychic reasoning more, they understand, there's that voice again.
Hmm.
They have, we all have personas. That part of us that was created that kind of is separate. Maybe as a child, maybe you were told over and over again, shut up, stupid, or blah, blah, the things that we grow up with that create
Hmm.
stories. I was raised by a terribly alcoholic, psychotic mother. So I thought, which I found out later in life, she was psychic. But back in those days, you didn't talk about that kind of thing.
No. Hmm.
But I looked at her other gifts and realized that. But I won't go into all that story, but that I thought I was unlovable because she tried so many times to kill herself that I thought she was trying to get away from me, that she
Yeah.
didn't want to be my mommy. So I must be unlovable if somebody wants to kill themselves to get away from me. So
Hmm.
that's one of my personas. Everybody's got these personas, sometimes several within their psyche, and when we're triggered by something, or a stimulus comes up that makes that voice come to the surface and say, see, I told you you're not worthy. See, I
Hmm.
told you you're not lovable. See, I told you you're stupid. Whatever that voice tells us, we need to recognize that trigger, and then we can respond to that trigger differently. So now when I get that trigger, and I still do,
Hmm.
it'll always be there, but it's how you respond to it. I say, you're being silly because we put that voice away a long time ago. That's not the truth. We can ask ourselves things like, is that true every single time? Is that really the truth? And how else would we be able to see this picture? Blah, blah, blah. So there's steps to that, the stimulus, the trigger, the response, and then the outcome. We are looking for a different outcome. That's why people come to us looking for help. They
Yeah.
want a better outcome. So when we get them through the method and the methodology and they learn the tools to use it, their outcomes are different.
Different.
They feel better, they feel stronger, they feel more capable. They're still human. Yes, we still have these things that will be there, but it's how we respond to it. So I give them different ways of responding to it.
Oh yeah, and thinking even us as healers, we have our own stuff still. Sometimes I think to
Oh, yeah.
myself, I'm not enough, and then I say, no, stop it. That's
Good.
not the
See, you're
case.
doing your own STRO right
Yes,
there.
I
I
tell
love
myself
it.
to stop it, and I say,
Good.
no,
Yeah,
Barbara,
because you
you
can
are
feel,
enough.
we all have that feeling when the trigger hits, you know what that feeling is because it's
Yeah,
been with you your whole damn life,
but that's it.
and then you
Yeah.
go, nope, 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 nope. Sometimes it might take, when you're first doing it, it might take 2 or 3 hours, or you might even spend a whole day wallowing in it.
Oh yeah.
But the more you practice it, the shorter and shorter that response time becomes. And pretty soon you just kind of laugh at it and screw it and walk away from it,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
I tell it, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
Perfect. Perfect. I
Go,
love
go.
that.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
right.
want you. Yeah, but we all get that though.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Even the best of us. Yeah, it's all we're human in a spiritual, we're
But
spiritual
that's what's beautiful.
body. Yeah.
Yeah. We're humanly imperfect, and that's
Yeah.
what makes it perfect, right?
It's a good way to say it.
Yes.
Ah, well, gee, I know I can probably sit here and talk forever, but
I know we could yak forever about
I
this.
know.
We are kindred souls. Yes.
Yes, yes, believe me, I feel that. So, so where can my listeners get a hold of you?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I've got a YouTube channel, Holly Nicholson Coaching. So that's pretty simple. Holly Nicholson Coaching. I've got some longer format stuff on there, videos, podcasts, and things. And I've got some short form things too. It's fairly new, so there's not a ton of content, but I am on Facebook, Holly Nicholson Coaching. I am on Instagram, Holly Nicholson 1111, because that's my spirit number.
Okay.
I'm on TikTok is Pain to Power Coach.
Okay.
And yeah, pretty much cover all. I run the gamut with everything.
Yeah, I'll make sure that all those links are on, when I put this
Right.
up.
And my
Uh,
website is
oh,
hollynicholson.net. So
oh,
that can be confusing. I try to separate that from everything else. So the website is hollynicholson.net. And
mhm.
you can get on there, look through it, see if you're interested. And there are several buttons there that you can book a discovery call for a 30-minute free session of just discovering if we're a good fit. Or do you want to talk or do you want to be rearranged? So
I think a lot of us need to be rearranged.
sometimes, right?
Yeah, sometimes, but yeah, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. I'm so honored that you said yes to me. You have no
Oh,
idea.
not once, but twice. But I am so honored we did this too. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time getting to know each other and sharing our stories, and I very much appreciate it. I hope we can do it again sometime.
Yes, actually, I would love to have you again on and talk more about some other things.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds great.
I'll send you another link.
All right, thanks,
Oh,
darling.
you're welcome. So,
God bless and take care.
oh, thank you. So, I again, thank you, Holly,
Yes.
and thank you everybody for listening. And I hope that Holly's words inspired you to look within, to honor your resilience, and to trust that your pain can indeed become a powerful catalyst for you to grow. And if today's conversation moved you, please follow Holly's work, explore her pain to power method, and allow her tools to support your body, mind, and your spirit. Because I
Mhm.
know I can feel it, and I know there are some clients I need to send her away that I know in my
And
heart.
likewise.
Well, thank you that she can definitely help them. And also, of course, thank you to my beautiful listeners, for opening
Thank
your
you.
hearts and joining us on this journey. And remember, you are powerful, you are loved,
Absolutely.
you are worthy, and you are enough. And
Mm.
your light matters more than you'll ever know. So until
Amen.
next time, keep shining and keep believing in yourself. And know that you are never, ever alone on this path. And have a beautiful week filled with love and with light. Love, Barbara.